I'm Dr. Abhishek Singh. I'm faculty here at School of Management and Entrepreneurship at IIT Jodhpur. I welcome all of you to this webinar, Exordium. This is our fourth webinar in the series of these webinars that we are conducting for the candidates to let them know about our school and what we are and what we stand for. Today we have with us Professor Krishna. He's a senior professor at SME at IIT Jodhpur. He'll be discussing with all of you the Foresight Driven Management Education.
Good evening, everyone. This is Shrutin. I'll be your moderator for this episode. Firstly, I cordially welcome you all to the fourth episode of the Exordium webinar series, organized by Embrace, the Admission Committee, SME IIT Jodhpur. Well, agenda of today's episode is Foresight Driven Management Education, and we have Professor Krishna Kumar Balaraman to share his insights on the same. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Krishna Kumar Balaraman is a faculty in the Strategic and Public Policy area at the School of Management and Entrepreneurship, IIT Jodhpur, and is affiliated to IITJ's Center of Technology, Foresight and Policy. Sir is also associated with IITJ's School of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science. Sir is an alumnus of IIT Madras, IIM Bangalore, NLSIU Bangalore, and Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, University of Madras. Sir works in the area of strategic foresight and alliances and has more than 2 decades of international leadership experience in developing products and solutions in leading-edge technologies and advises on business models and strategies. Sir, virtual dais is all yours.
Thank you, Shrutin, and good evening to all the participants in this webinar, and I hope I will make this time worthwhile for you. It'd be nice to see as many faces as possible, so if it's possible, it'd be nice to have your videos on, but I leave the choice to you. Let me first go through, before telling what SME is, I just wanted to take you to the experience of what it's going to be like when we are here, right? One of the most exciting things I find about the School of Management and Entrepreneurship is that it is present in IIT Jodhpur. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So one of the exciting things about the whole situation of IIT Jodhpur is like it's almost an 852-acre campus spread across with a lot of wilderness, and its architecture is reflective of the state in which we come in, the great state of Rajasthan, with the sandstone architectures, and it's a really great place to be in terms of just the location, right? And when we go through the campus, it's really a view to behold, be it the sunrise, and you can, in this particular picture, it's one of our favorites, icon, I mean, the center stage of IIT Jodhpur, you can literally call it is this clock tower, the iconic clock tower, and which also resonates with the ethos of Jodhpur in terms of the Ghantaghar being the center of the business community at some point of time, and from where the whole Jodhpur area also grew, right? And what we see is we see horizons, we see large horizons, we see vistas which are beyond imaginable. You see a sunrise, you see a sunset, and suddenly you realize that the world is so much larger. And what you can see is even beyond what is visible, if you know what I mean. You can see vision takes you to a certain extent. But the large vistas of IIT Jodhpur tells us that we need to have more than just vision in life, not just what we can see. It's also beyond what we can see, right? Seeing beyond what is visible, so to speak, requires a lot of knowledge, and knowledge can come in various forms. And through knowledge, we form foresight. And what is foresight? I think we heard about forecast, and forecast a lot of times is based on what is in the past. We are able to generate the data required to find out patterns. But then what? Something sudden like COVID happens, and then all the past analysis suddenly seems to come to a halt. Businesses have to rework their stuff. Technologies have to be reworked. Delivery have to be reworked. Supply chain management reworked. And here's where the concept of foresight comes into play, right? How do we see weak signals? How do we see the periphery of what's happening in this world? And how do we actually create alternate futures, create preferred futures? And that is not just from data of the past, but it also a sense of going to the future. And in that context, we need to expand our horizon. And if you come to IIT Jodhpur, you'll know how large the horizons can be, even geographically, right? You won't see skyscrapers, you won't see large buildings for miles and miles and miles. But what you see is you see clear skies. You can see very clearly both in the night and in the day, and it's so colorful, blue in the and different shades of blue. What we call the different shades of blue. You can, if you know what different shades of blue, you need to come and see the Jodhpur sky, and the IIT Jodhpur campus, perhaps the best place you can see. And expanding your horizon requires you to have a lot of outreach. You need to be able to explore. You need to be able to go beyond what you know. You need to be able to have the opportunity to just explore what is there in front of you. But to explore, you need something to explore, right? And what can you explore? As a management school, there's very little to explore, you may feel like. I know economics, business, all that kind of thing. But guess what? The future is more about networking. It's more about how people work together, how people network together, how people walk together. So the sunrise effect, or be it sharing our campus with different kinds of flora and fauna. Yes, all these are taken right in the campus. None of this, I can vouch for it because I personally shot this, maybe not a great camera shot, but the kind of migratory birds which are there, the black bugs, the hares, the mongoose. We also have cobras, but it's all very safe because we are sharing a space with nature, and that is part of the horizon. And our students also go on a walk, they enjoy themselves a lot. And some of the students can actually answer, it'll answer the questions on what it means to be on campus. And the night skies are so clear, you can actually, you can really see even the Orion, the Hunter Orient belt. So the Hunter's Orient belt configuration, the Maga constellation. Why is all this geographical information important for MBA studies? Because apart from management studies, we have a host of other avocations which you can follow here. Before that, coming to it, in this context of IIT Jodhpur, where we have a lot of technology, we have a lot of entrepreneurship emphasis, we have a lot of interdisciplinary research programs, was born a new star, School of Management and Entrepreneurship. In fact, I would say it is one of the fastest setups ever I have known of a management school. The inception was there around November of 2019. We had the first batch selection by, I think, April of 2020. Yes, all during when we went online, right? All of us went online. We onboarded an MBA batch rather successfully in July, end July and August of 2020. We onboarded a PhD program, and we now have full-fledged programs in our run from our department as minor programs for the BTechs, a minor in management, for a minor in entrepreneurship, an MBA program, and a PhD program with close to 9 students in various spheres of management. And we also have a new building from where I'm speaking. And one of the innovations which we have made is to try to bring in as feasible students into the campus. And the picture you see here are actually the SME students of the first year who actually have come to the campus. But at the same time, since we are not be able to bring one of the innovations which the School of Management and Entrepreneurship has made under the highly foresightful leadership of our director, I should say, Santanu Chowdhury, is to start the hybrid classes. Hybrid classes, as you can see, we have a full-fledged system where people are online, they interact, and also students who are in the campus are able to come to the classrooms and experience it. So nobody misses out on the experience, but everybody gets a very good experience depending on the situation they are in, right? So you can see that we are just not stuck with what we can do right now. We're constantly thinking what we should be doing next, and that's part of the foresight process. This is in terms of more of the way the culture we have built in terms of looking towards the future all the time. In addition to that, formally the IIT Jodhpur system, again a brainchild of our very visionary director, Professor Santanu Chowdhury, is the Center of Technology, Foresight and Policy. And this is, you can go and see it on the website. Right now it's coming up as a center, which is a highly interdisciplinary center which tries to blend in management and the technology for the future. And what are those futures? Has quantum computing, has 3D printing, 3D manufacturing, has AI, artificial intelligence, has robotics, has electric vehicles. So as we go, the center, the whole the ecosystem of IIT, when you come here, you'll start noticing that it's just not about management education. It's how management education is being blended with the future of technology. And technology by itself is not a solution, but when technology and management are blended, they form a very, very strong combination for the future. And when you come here, while you may be coming in for management, you get a lot of places to explore, right? We have an electric vehicle lab. So if you're interested in an electric vehicle, there could be a possibility of you seeking out faculty, seeking out collaborations or experiences which would expose you to the future technology of electric vehicles. And in fact, IIT Jodhpur is perhaps the only institution in India, the first institution, I would say at least, who has got quantum computers on campus. Actually, yes, we have got quantum computers. Quantum computers are going to be the wave of the future. The way we know right now are binary mode computers, but quantum computers are going to revolutionize that in a few years, where instead of just being binary, they can have 2 power n-1 states, and programs are going to literally take advantage of this multiple states. And what could be done right now, maybe in a few days, in a few weeks, quantum computing techniques would actually complete in a few, perhaps minutes or a few hours. So huge amount of implication of quantum computing on blockchain. Blockchain is a subject for managers to understand. A lot of implication on supply chain, a lot of implication on artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence application, especially from a strategic decision-making process, artificial intelligence comes as a very important aspect right now. A lot of debates going on. The students right now are on the cusp of really exciting times, right? A lot of things which were not there 10 years ago has suddenly come to fruition. Quantum computing is happening, blockchain implementations are happening, AI-based decision-making systems are happening. And suddenly when you come to a management school, it's not just about studying structures and management principles and all that. How do you use management in the context of evolving technology, futuristic technology? And hence we are talking about the principle of foresight, which while I'm studying management in an environment of future technology, I'm suddenly getting a lot of ideas for the future. I'm suddenly getting collaborations, maybe a lot of students who are doing research, who are opening organizations, who are opening small startups. In fact, it's happening as we speak. Some of our students in our School of Management Entrepreneurship have already started collaborating with some of the BTechs and MTech students who are working in medical technology, for example. And they are actually collaborating with them to see what management expertise they can bring into the technical startup. And suddenly it becomes very rich because you are getting a technology plus management experience, which is very hard to combine, because the future, it's not enough if you know technology. It's not enough if you know management. To be true leaders, to be true entrepreneurs, you need to have a great blend of management technology. And that is what we are talking about as foresight and policy. And policy, because you can be influencers. Policies are basis on which people, the future really develops, right? The government policies, the industrial policies, which has to be developed. And working and being a part of IITJ network is going to give you that strength and give you that exposure, give you that network of both technology and policy. And of course, management is part of policy. So why am I talking about technology while this is going to be a school of management, an entrepreneurship pitch? Is that when you're doing an MBA, it's not just the MBA you're doing. It's something much more. It's an experience you're going through of how do you create your mind? How do you create your thought process for a Foresight blended management education, right? The management education is not just about knowing what is management today. The management education you receive because of the exposure of being IIT Jodhpur is going to be what is going to be management education of tomorrow in connection with a lot of interdisciplinary research. So we are not even calling it interdisciplinary anymore. We're calling it actually transdisciplinary. Why? Because any field we go is not going to be a single trick pony, so to speak. It's not going to be just technology. It's not going to be just one technology. If you don't know how to handle the technology with the business model, you're kaput. You're not going to make money. You need to know how to recognize the futuristic technology, the dominant technology. You need in various spheres. You need to know how to use the technology for application. You need to know how to monetize those technology. You need to know how to collaborate with other network, other technologies. You need to understand where is my danger coming from. Amazon, is it a supply chain company? Is it a retail company? Or is it an IT company? And maybe it's a combination of all. So who is Amazon's competition? Or and which company should consider Amazon as competition? Should only another e-retailer consider Amazon as competition? Or maybe a supply chain or a transport company like FedEx should also consider Amazon because Amazon has also got into supply chain. Or should Google consider Amazon as a competitor because Google is into cloud services? So suddenly you see the boundaries of industries are vanishing. And as a business leader, you need to have the foresight to have where technology is moving, to understand where the boundaries of the industry is changing, where are the boundaries of different industries, traditional industries vanishing, and new boundaries are being formed, or perhaps no boundaries being formed. Everything is becoming a blob. Anybody could go from anywhere to anywhere, and suddenly the traditional knowledge of entry barriers and industry rivalry, as Porter said, could suddenly change. There's going to be no industry rivalry. It's going to be rivalry, period, because you don't know where your rival is going to come from. So in that context, we in IIT Jodhpur, we have a lot of interdisciplinary research platforms. Of course, robotics and mobility systems. You can go to the website and know more about it. You have the science of intelligence. It's a blend of cognitive sciences, AI, psychology, and we're trying to see all, because the future of AI, when you want to talk about AI, it's suddenly, if it has to become human-like, you need to know psychology of humans. So there's a collaborative effort here. Researchers from social sciences, humanities and social sciences, management, computer science, AI, a bunch of people collaborate here. Digital humanities, going forward, everything is going to be affected by digital life. So everything from human resource, how do you play, how do you work? So research on a combination of human life and digital, the intersection of that, we need to do a lot of research, and that's something we'll be exposed to here. IoT and applications, Internet of Things. I think I don't need to explain everything from Industry 4.0 to current day traffic monitoring system, weather monitoring system, edge computing, everything comes into play. No more are we looking at server-based processing. IoT is deploying edge devices. Sensors and edge computing devices is coming up, and then centralized. So you have a lot of localized intelligence built in, and IoT is playing a great role in that. And as a business manager and leader, you need to understand how IoT can help you, be it in the factory floor, be it in your customer service, be it in monitoring your shop floor, your retail stores. IoT plays a major role. And quantum computing, of course, I mentioned about that a bit. Smart healthcare, a very, very critical aspect. I think all of you agree to that right now. It's not just about having healthcare, it's also having about preventive healthcare, and how, in fact, IIT Jodhpur is perhaps the first IIT, I may be arguably sorry, maybe I think, to my knowledge at least, to have a joint degree program with AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. We run a program on medical technology. So you can see the IIT Jodhpur ecosystem is not just inward looking, it's very outward looking. We have a lot of partners in the education sphere as well. That's something which we are very proud of. And in fact, some of the School of Management Entrepreneurship faculty teach and also interact with the medical masters in medical technology folks, students, and it's a very, very enriching experience. Space technology evolving like nothing else before. In fact, if you read the recent news, ISRO, the government has opened up space for private players, right? So there, as business leaders, you can actually the future you may actually be working in a space company. SpaceX being one of the international company. In fact, last week, very exciting things like Virgin Space actually launched rockets from a 747. And they launch satellites from a 747 through a rocket. Exciting times, because by the time you're another 20 years, people will be ready for space travel. And if you are in the space industry, suddenly you may be looking at space industry as a hospitality industry. Things are changing. Can you visualize space industry as a hospitality industry? People want to go out on a jaunt to the space and come back. Then you may be owning a company or be a leader in one of such companies. Such is the power of foresight. Now, all that is fine, but what do I get here, right? One of the most strongest advantage of SME and why it would be a foresight-oriented management education, so to speak, is that right from day one, we have partner institutions ready to partner with us for futuristic technologies, both as a manager and as a technologist. It's going to be like what we call a double barrel gun, so to speak, for you. And it's coming from top schools: Sunny Albany, Brandeis, George Washington. It could be in finance. So finance could be a lot of fintech is happening. It's a combination of fintech. It's of course business analytics. Many of you may be already aware how it's changing the world. It could be retail analytics. It could be human resource analytics. It could be a lot of different kinds of analytics. Forensics and cybersecurity. In fact, cybersecurity is increasing in its to the past few weeks itself, I came across two very successful startups in the cybersecurity space, and these are very exciting times which is happening. So, having said that, the future belongs to talent network with a combination of technology and management. And IITs are a great choice to acquire both talent and the network for a successful future. An IIT Jodhpur's program with the Tech MBA option, which I think you may have seen the website and a few other places. It's both with a hybrid mode. There's a chance of people coming on campus where your whole vision of the possibilities can change. Of course, it depends on the way you will like to curate that opportunity for your own benefit as well. It's a two-way street. But what IITJ and the environment of SME would provide you is a great opportunity, a great platform to actuate on your future-looking, foresight-oriented management education. So I think as part of the whole thing, I think I will not talk too much about it. The website has it, but if you see the faculty list, one more feather in the cap is perhaps one of the most rapid faculty ramp-ups ever in the history of the IIT management schools has happened here. We have on board close to 17 faculty, all of them from very premier schools like IITs, IIMs, with a lot of experience backing them up. That's another very marquee point of SME. And of course, apply now. If you're not applied, apply now. If you're not completed application, complete it. If you're not paid the fees, pay the fees. Such opportunities come very rarely. And one more thing is maybe you should also go and look at the advisory list. It's a who's who of the industry. So there's a very strong industry connect. We have a very strong social connect, so to speak. Our students have actually gone on have completed months of winter internship with the social sector. So this is a program which develops a social consciousness in the students. It exposes students to futuristic technologies. Of course, I'm giving the regular management education in various spheres of finance, marketing, strategy, operations, human resource, organizational behavior. And most importantly, it's a network. The network you get, the power of being in the IIT system. I think I hope when you get an admission and you go through the 2 years journey, you will fulfill all those dreams of having a foresight-driven management education. With that, I would stop my talk here. I hope it was clear, and anybody else wants to add here, you can do that. I'm open for questions if there is any. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Participants are requested to use raise hand feature or chat box to ask their questions.
Sir, as you talked about internal collaboration with our partners, so we have got a question from Sandy. She is asking about the more details about dual degree programs.
Okay, I will just quickly show you the dual degree program we have right now. These are some of the dual degree programs which are there available for the students. Now, there is a selection process which goes on. And the selection process, we have very clear-cut guidelines, and many of the students do apply. I think even this year, some people have actually already got admission, to my knowledge, a few of them, and a lot of them in the process of getting their admission. The idea here is that you will get 2 degrees, one from IIT Jodhpur and one from the foreign university. This is subject to you are completing all the degree requirements as specified by the respective institution. That's one thing. It also depends on grade. And going to a foreign university, the cost structure also is defined by the foreign university. If you're doing an MBA program fully from both years from IITJ, that's, I think, it's a well-defined cost structure in terms of it's a well-defined cost structure. If it is a university, the second year will depend on the university you go to, right? So again, it will be known to you before, and it will be clear to you what is your implications of that. So this may change from year to year. So when you are coming here, and when you're at the point of time you're applying, you may have to take stock of whether that's something which will work out for you, and where you want to go, those kind of things. I hope I've answered that question there, Sandy.
Yeah, so I think I can add Professor Krishna.
Oh, yes, of course, Professor Manish, I didn't notice you. Please go ahead. I think Professor Manish handles the international relations. He's the right person to answer it. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So actually, so the advantage for dual degree through the IITJ program is that you will get a discounted fee. Like the fees is around 35 to 40% discount than the normal fees. And the entry requirements are a little bit relaxed in the sense that GRE and GMAT is not required. So if you are an IITJ student, you don't have to have that necessary to be clear with GRE, and so these are few advantages. And also you will be getting dual degree, as Professor Krishna has said. And so if you talk about the universities, like we have three partners, like State University of New York at Albany, and then so the program there is cybersecurity and forensics. Then we have Brandeis University that is giving 3 programs, that is MS in Applied Finance, MS in Business Analytics, and MA in International Economics. Similarly, we have George Washington University that is offering 2 degree programs, that is MS in Applied Finance and MS in Business Analytics. So there are a range of options, and you have a lot of scholarship opportunities there once you go there. So this is in the nutshell about the dual degree.
Yes, sir. We have a question from Aditi. She is asking, what are the specializations that are available in SME in MBA?
Okay, to answer the question, broadly, we have a general MBA track and a tech MBA track, right? Having said that, the first year is going to be 4 courses, which is compulsory for both the tracks. So the courses will consist of a combination of subjects based on economics, marketing, finance and accounting, human resource or organizational behavior, to be specific, strategy, and you'll go through a bunch of courses on that. Now, the second year is largely elective based, right? So the specialization or the area in which you want to, you are being drawn towards, you have a chance to take electives from those areas. So every year before the year starts, usually you will have at least every term, before every term, you have a set of, this is in the second year I'm talking about, you will have a set of electives in various areas of all the broad areas I said right now: strategy and policy, economics, finance and accounting, business analytics. I think Mr. Information Technology / business analytics, operations management, and marketing. I think I left out one more thing. I mean, yeah, if you go there, I think you're 6 or 7 areas. So depending on the electives you take, your specialization may be defined. Even though in the degree, I can say this, that you will be given either an MBA or a Tech MBA. So I hope that answers your question.
So, sir, Manish sir has mentioned 6 courses which are offered in dual degree program from 3 global degree schools. So Leelavati has asked if we are planning to include more courses for dual degree program.
Look, the possibilities are always there. For example, I think maybe Professor Manish would be in a better position to answer that if you'd like to take it.
Yeah, certainly. So we are actually we are trying for expanding our international collaborations, and in this regard, we are targeting some geographies in European countries and also in Australia. So the talks are going on with the University of Western Australia for some courses like MS in Business Analytics and MS in HR Analytics. So those kind of courses we are trying to start with University of Western Australia, and also we are endeavoring to have some kind of exchange programs with the existing foreign universities, in which our MBA students can spend some time at the our partner universities, and the credits which they may be earning there can be recognized at IITJ, and similarly, so and the students who would be coming from their students from the foreign universities, the credits what they would be earning at IITJ can be recognized at their university. So to have a kind of international environment at IITJ, so we are working towards it. But since it is only our first year, first batch which would be graduating, so there is some uncertainty because of the pandemic also. It may be happening this year, or maybe in next, it may take some more time. We don't know because the situation is uncertain, but our efforts are definitely there. Full efforts are going on, and it may be working very soon also. So, but there is still uncertainty about when it will be working because of the uncertainty, as you know.
Thank you so much, sir. So there is this question, very interesting question from Utkarsh. He has asked that in dual degree, do we have to settle it abroad after completing the dual degree, or can we come back to India or something on that line?
Yeah, so the programs what we have tried that it offers you a gateway to the career abroad. So if you are doing a dual degree in US, because currently all our partners are US based, so you would have the similar kind of opportunities what your counterpart would be having, who is doing a 2-year program there. So if you are earning a degree, so you would be earning a degree from the US university. So, and you can also see that from your end, you can also do this kind of exploration, that you would be eligible for a 2-year kind of work visa after this degree. So you would, and then if your visa is sponsored, then you can continue there. So So you would be as good as a proper US student there. So you will have opportunities, and also the foreign university would be guiding you to get some kind of placement. So they would be helping you in your CV grooming, in bridging you with the prospective employers out of their networks. So that kind of assistance would be there when you are nearing the degree completion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering that. Sir, Krishna sir, there is another question from Shivendra Pratap. He is asking that he's slightly apprehensive about the ROI for the MBA program, because he's feeling that he'll be investing 8 to 10 lakhs without any past placement records. So that is going to be quite risky. What would be your views on that, sir?
I would just step back in my own journey. And when in 1990 I was thinking of applying for IIM Bangalore, I said, it's not such an established place right now. What is the ROI? Okay, now I would not say the same thing. In fact, I've ended up, after almost like 15 years, I ended up becoming a alumni of IIM Bangalore again, right? So at an institute, in the long run, is what the students and faculty make of it. If Satya Nadella has looked at the ROI before he joined Manipal, nobody have really known what he would have done. Before Sundar Pichai had joined, what is ROI before joining metallurgy in IIT Kharagpur, nobody would have known. So that is a question which you have to answer for yourself honestly. Is there a risk in everything? Of course, there's going to be risk in everything. There's no guarantee. And just because somebody joins IIM Bangalore or IMBA or Harvard does not guarantee a beautiful life for them in terms of ROI either. Many of them are also, you only read news about the top 10 people who get the jobs, really speaking, right? Others are all, many of them actually end up being in not mediocre, in the middle range, in the statistical middle range. So what is risky? It depends on what, maybe not doing at all could be more riskier than doing it here. So that's a choice you need to say that on a relative sense. The reason I went on the possibilities of doing MBA from the IIT environment is exactly that, right? It is not, SME is new, but IIT is not. If IIT Jodhpur, in fact, even today, a news has come out in the IEEE, is that we are among the top 9 publishers in the nanoscience area, right? We have set up an electric vehicle research lab along with Siemens. Siemens has actually invested, has become our partners. We are the first IIT to get quantum computers from NVIDIA. You can go and look this all up. And all this is not a flash in the pan. And you are when you come to SME, you are not coming to just to SME. You're coming as part of IIT Jodhpur. And hence, that is where your risk assessment is going to change. If you see yourself as a student of IIT and you're using all the resources of IIT and developing a technology foresight in addition to your management, then your risk profiling would be totally different vis-a-vis just doing an MBA in a school which is focused only on management and perhaps good on the current placement scene, but you don't know whether you're going to be placeable 10 years down the line. Why? Because the network could be limited, your exposure could be limited, and a bunch of stuff. So I think the honest way for me to give that answer to you is, while I'm very glad that you're using the term ROI and you're applying for MBA, that's very good. Some of my students also take note of that. But the thing is, the risk part is always going to be there. And since you're talking about risk, even in the markets, you get higher returns only when the risk is higher. For government bonds, you get 4 to 5%. But if you go to small cap funds, over a period of time, you could get minus 25, you can also get plus 25. So people hedge their bets. And you are hedging the bet here about joining the MBA program is, again, you are not joining just an MBA program. You're joining the IITJ network with its technology outreach, its possibilities, and you can talk to some of the students who already started collaborating with some of their technology wingies, the roomies, the hostelites, those kind of things you want to call it. That's where the network develops. And this network is irreplaceable anywhere. And just like in many other institutes, right? So I think 8 to 10 lakhs is just a figure. But what is the risk profile you are looking at is something, if you spend the same 8 to 10 lakhs in a standalone MBA institute vis-a-vis in an IIT system is something for you to consider. I will not make a comment on others, but I think I have come from both IIT system and the IIM system. I know the advantages of both and disadvantages of both in some sense. I don't know if there's really disadvantage in anything. I would rather say I know the advantages of both in terms of the experience you get. And there is no ROI you can calculate on the experience for the simple reason that the experience can take you to the moon. If you ask, to give an anecdote, Sundar Pichai was working in McKinsey, right? Nothing to do, there's no relation between metallurgy and the civil he did in Stanford and his MBA, and he came to McKinsey. And how come he joined Google? He didn't join Google as a pure management guy. He joined Google as almost like as a techno manager. And how did he join Google? Because one of his team members was leaving for a startup, and he talked to him to dissuade him not to leave McKinsey. This is anecdotal, right? And then after he talked to him, he realized that it's good that he also joined his team member. He also went and applied to Google and went there. That is the power of your management. The foresight is about where the wind is blowing. And for that, being in a system like IIT can give you a lot of heads up on that. So that would be my submission to you. If that is going to be risky, yes, everything is going to be risky. There's no guarantee in life that way. I hope I have answered to a large extent.
If you permit me, Dr. Krishna, I'd like to add, you have fully elaborated the issue, addressed it, and I'll take it from where you said and you greatly emphasized on this risk part. And I'll say that when you see a risk, as a smart manager of tomorrow, you have to look at the risk mitigation strategy. So I submit that as a student, there is also, if there is a risk, there are also risk mitigation strategy. And to my mind, the risk mitigation is going to be to outsmart yourself. Take the courses with great sincerity and the rigor you go through. So try to really gain the knowledge and get out of this myopic view of what placement I'm going to get. I know that probably for the youngsters of today, it doesn't make sense. It looks like, we're just trying to wish away the main crux of the problem or what people are looking at. But my submission is, don't look at ROI. Yeah, and I'm sure nobody can stop you if you take the advantage of IIT Jodhpur and SME is going to offer. He has said very clearly that when you're joining SME, you're not joining just SME, you're joining IIT Jodhpur, and SME is just an island within that IITJ. But your barriers there is no barrier. You've got an unlimited scope to take courses, learn from technologists, learn from even the school. Also, there's going to be great emphasis on this. If you're going for Tech MBA, there's no question. Even if you're doing GL MBA, you'll be in an ecosystem where all the time people will talk about technology. So no way you'll be able to insulate. And I'm sure you have realized, all the students and the future MBAs know that future is going to lie in the hands of technology MBA. Not that just technology, not the MBAs. It's going to be this intersection of MBA and technology. So this is the opportunities being created. And I think he started with this. This is the only institute in the country is going to offer a degree. The degree certificate is going to mention take MBA. Of course, degree as such doesn't mean anything unless you assimilate, unless you take the courses seriously and make yourself the most competent person. And you'll find n number of examples that where really the brand of the institute didn't matter, where, your competence mattered. And today, of course, I'm not completely undermining. Sometimes, being a part of a big branded school, it opens the first door. But again, you look at how many of you, you have still not joined the institute. Historically has been seen, you leave jobs, change jobs so frequently. So why should it bother about the first job? In fact, if you take a job where your interest lies and build on that, so you're going to create a foundation out of SME, but that's not end of it. That's only beginning of a journey. And how you use that knowledge, how to enhance that knowledge in the working environment that would be. And you'll find probably 3 years, 5 years down the line, you'd be at a very different place. So just look at the opportunity, look at your risk mitigation strategy, and I think nobody can stop anyone who has got this, great sincerity and seriousness and take it seriously. And that would be my submission. Don't look at ROI, because this will be very, very, I think, ill thought out. That's just looking at ROI and taking a decision. I think you may actually end up taking a wrong decision.
And just to add what Coach has said, as a policy in IIT Jodhpur, the students are encouraged to take a lot of other courses as well, provided they're able to manage and have managed the basic core course they are also doing, right? So there's a lot of cross-pollination possible, and you can, if you're able to manage your core courses very well, core program courses very well, there are also possibilities for you to expand your knowledge in other areas which you might be offered, right? So we have a lot of folks who are not in the management school who opt for courses in the management school. Right now that's happening, and there is also no reason why some of the students in management school, while they are completing their core requirement for their core program, cannot take another place. In fact, they must be taking other courses which interest them from offering other departments as well, as far as they're able to clear the prerequisites required for those kind of courses. So there's a lot of cross-pollination possible, a lot of possibilities of reaching out and equipping yourself in an environment. So that is another aspect you need to take in your assessment.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts. So there's an extension on the similar thought. There's a question from Prashant Chauhan. He's asking, sir, how is the curriculum relevant in today's time, SME's curriculum?
How is SME's curriculum relevant to today's time? No, it's not relevant to today's time at all. It's relevant for the future times. So I can tell you that much. The way the whole curriculum has been curated for the past 1 year, I can assure you that it is not relevant for today, because we are not training you for today. We are not giving you a fish for today. We are teaching you how to fish in the future. So even yes, there is, in that sense, there is relevance, because we are preparing you for a future where you will be aware of how you need to pick up things and what you need to pick up things, because maybe there is an underlying intention in the question is that things keep changing. Obviously, things keep, and they keep evolving at a speed which we cannot even comprehend at this point of time. And before I think you finish your MBA from here, already you may have quantum computer laptops coming up. That's the speed at which these things are going, right? So how is relevant for today? But there are some very basic concepts which are relevant for hundreds of years. Even, for example, I take a course or a doctoral level course in entrepreneurship management, and one of the textbooks I use is 100 years old by Frank Knight. And if I remove the word 1991 from the printed version, you will think the book was written yesterday. So there are some seminal thoughts which are relevant across time, at the same time, which will be taught, of course, as concepts, because people who don't know history are condemned to repeat it. At the same time, the curriculum is balanced in such a way that to ready you for the future. So if you, the relevance of the curriculum is really for the future in terms of teaching you how to fish, rather than we are not going to give you a fish for today. I hope I have answered that question largely.
So, thank you, sir.
So there is another question from Utkarsh Panwar. He's asking that, as we all know, we are living in unprecedented times of coronavirus. So should we hold on for 1 year and then pursue MBA next year, as the market is not that active or it is not booming these days? What would be your take, sir?
Market boom, I mean, the Sensex is at like 47 plus, 47K plus. Market is booming.
Today it has reached 50,000, Dr. Krishna.
Yes, sir. That's why I've been careful. I'm saying plus, actually. I don't know where the market is moving if I don't watch it.
Today it has breached all the barriers. I mean, earlier records, it is 50,000.
Awesome. So look, before I've not been even seeing newspaper for the past 24 hours because of various reasons. Suddenly market just leaves me behind, right? I'm already outdated. The curriculum should not be outdated that way. So yeah, but yeah, I think there is no good time or bad time. I think in fact, research says that when the economy goes down, people come back to education to reskill themselves, right? But in India, I don't think the economy is going down. In fact, every other day I keep on getting in my groups, I get people sending out hiring ads for space. What is important is that you should keep on reskilling all the time. Gone are the days where you say, I have a BE or MBA or whatever, or MBBS, and I'm done for life. No, you have to constantly be on the edge and keep on learning all the time. So doesn't matter if Corona is here, Corona is also a beer. So you can choose whichever version of Corona you want and go ahead with life. And I think, in my opinion, the more you wait, it's really not going to make much difference, because ultimately what is your destiny will take you there, right? And I know of people who have tried to time the market. Timing the market never really works. Perhaps when the market is down and you start doing MBA in 2 years, suddenly market goes up in terms of opportunities, then you should not be left wanting, saying that, oh, I didn't have an MBA. So you have to look at it from that aspect as well. I'm not an astrologer or forecaster or anything like that, but I don't think there's never a good time to do or not do your education. You have to do it. Opportunity knocks very few times. So when you have an opportunity, I should pick it up. And if you come here, over a tea, I'll tell you my story and you'll know why I'm saying that. But right now, all I can tell you is, if you have an opportunity, pick it up, wherever it is.
Yeah, just will add here, this is, you have already said that. I said, Corona or no Corona, you just have to see whether you get an opportunity at a place where you can build your skill, knowledge, capability. Incursion it, because you don't know tomorrow whether that opportunity will knock at your door. Because you might have cracked something this year, there's no guarantee next year you'll be in the same frame of mind, whether the pattern of questions will be same, whether there will be better candidates will not be able to make it. So if you get an opportunity, reasonably good opportunity, just go ahead and do it. So there's no point. And as I said, it's all based on your competence. It really, in the long run, the brand really doesn't matter. There are, from many, tier 2 schools also, there are, students, the alumni who does extremely well. So don't get this Corona fear, and people, who are doing, braving all that, they are attending classes. In fact, otherwise, what the other choice was that lock down yourselves for a year, get rusted for a year and close your door. But students are all doing that. Everybody is trying to, take it the way it is and try to learn. Actually, people are learning new things, facing these challenges and how to work on the challenges. And challenges are not going to end. It's going to come again and again. So even Corona will go, some Corona will come. So don't worry. So something is going to come and hit you, but that should not dissuade you not to, get on with your journey.
Yeah, I think people are making Corona an opportunity also. In fact, the next movie of Hrithik Roshan, I believe, is Corona Pyar Hai. And Abhishek Kamal, India is not going to become third largest economy by 2034. We are already the third largest economy by PPP. And that you will learn when you come to SME. Even the Prime Minister has not realized it yet. We are already the third largest economy according to purchasing power parity. And that's what matters in economics in the long term. So I don't have to wait until 2034. I'm already there.
So, sir, there is this question from Sri Harish Peddi. He is asking that he is interested in finance and he wants to know about the unique differentiation of SME as a B school. And to be precise, he is asking that why MBA in finance from SME?
Okay, so as I think Dr. Krishna also clarified that second year you got the full choice of picking up the electives, the area you want to concentrate on. As such, you'll have a general MBA degree, but each area will be offering, of course, based on a critical number, I mean, threshold limit, the minimum number we need for a course, and you'll have ample opportunity. And of course, there has to be, some minimum number to attend it. So if you are planning to do specialization in finance, and I'm sure that finance, marketing, these are very commonly opted, areas people would like to concentrate on. So I don't think there should be dearth of number of students that will not be able to offer courses. And, again, I said that courses will be offered, but it's up to you how really make use of that opportunity and get the best out of that. And apart from the courses offered, here in IIT Jodhpur, there is an opportunity to do independent courses. You're really serious and you feel that you want to do focused, area concentration. You might even with the faculty take a course, and you can even do cross-section, like you want to do finance with, fintech or fintech's kind of, specialization. You can even, not specialization, sorry, I'll not use that word specialization. You can even do a fintech course. We also have a school of artificial and data sciences, which may give opportunity to really look at, how to deploy technology. Because today, I think you'll be hearing the banks are told, are the banks or the technology company doing banking? The whole definition of banking is changing, that these are also technology companies, but happen to be in the business of banking. So, here is a place where you can really embrace technology and apply it in the area that you like. Marketing, supply chain, operations, all is going to be driven by technology. So advantage is here that you will be in the milieu of a technology environment, and that will give an opportunity. Only thing, you have to keep your mind open. You have to take this extra mileage. You may not be ready, but you have to learn. But it can make you ready for the industry, an industry of future. That's what he said. We are not catering to the needs of today only. We are, of course, relevant today, but we are trying to build you for tomorrow, to take care of you tomorrow.
Thank you so much for stepping in and answering that. So there is a question, and this question is very common. We are getting this question from a lot of aspirants. Is that how Tech MBA is going to be helpful for a CSE graduate without any experience, without any work experience per se?
Okay. You have a tool and you're trying to find a nail when you have a CSE. You're trying to use that hammer of CSE to try to come and say, what is the problem I want to solve? Doing an MBA would actually help you perhaps identify some problems which you could apply your skills to, right? It's almost like people coming from non-engineering background, say they come to SME, does not mean that they can't pick up skills. In fact, even yesterday, one of my students was saying that one of the biggest advantages of coming to SME IIT Jodhpur was actually having a bunch of classmates who actually told him how to pick up technology. So it's a mutually reinforcing environment here. So if you come with technology, there are a lot of people who come with other backgrounds like economics, accounting, marketing, bunch of things. So that is where your network, the PowerPoint of network I was talking about, and what you're going to make out of it. And essentially the same thing I told about maybe Sundar Pichai, not Washington Sundar. He also did no Luke 6, right? I think that I really watched it, was like so lovely. But he was a metallurgy person, and you can all ask what can a metallurgy person do in civil infrastructure MS in Stanford. You can ask what a civil MS student can do as a Wharton student doing MBA. And then you can say what a McKinsey expert can do as a tech specialist in Google. Each experience adds to the other. It is a continuum of experience you're going to have. So you're not going to lose it, right? And maybe you'll find an opportunity where you'll be able to apply it better. So that will be my simple submission to you. I'm a computer science graduate myself, ended up being in strategy. So I was doing Fourier transforms in 1992 for on GI pop processors, and here I find myself telling people that you study, so it's okay.
Let me take another angle and try to respond to his question, that whether no experience would come in the way of taking the Tech MBA. That is the question, right? If I got him right. So let me tell you, most of the business school prefer to have a combination of people with experience and no experience by design. At least some of the IIMs I know of, that they make it sure that the class has a combination of people with zero experience and people with maybe 7 to 8 years of experience. What is the purpose? What is in the mind? They want actually the class should be, with people who can bring little bit of wisdom that's in their real life, but also people who are not carrying any baggage. They can really have the wildest thoughts, that because there is no old war for them, because nothing is really holding them, because for them the world is new. They have not seen this actual world. So it is the brain that works better. So if you think that you'll not be able to learn, yes, you learn from the courses. And nobody is born with experience. Come on, we are not born with experience, but that doesn't matter. That if you really want to learn, and when the groups are formed, in fact, by choice, you should make a group where the students are with experience, no experience, different kind of engineering background. If it is not, really a mix of BA, BSc, BCom and engineers, mostly, because you'll find business schools are full of, I think, 60, 70, 80% are engineers. So just don't have any, think of any barrier that you don't have experience. Because no experience also give an advantage. You are fresh. You have been just coming from your engineering to management. Your energy level is high probably than a fellow who has put 5 years in the industry. So you've got an advantage. So look at that. What is your strength not having experience? And you come with a fresh mind, you might actually throw some good ideas to the class to really debate all about. So you should also think of being a contributor in the process of learning. So and there are people that without any experience, they sometimes land up with a great jobs also. So let me also tell you that. So and maybe sometime the experienced people find it difficult because they cannot actually compromise that what they're getting. So they look at, oh, I was getting this, so how can I accept an offer below that, or I'm looking for my aspiration level as high. So just get out from your mind that no experience in any way is disadvantage.
Yeah, so to add to it, like so in Tech MBA you will have courses like algorithmic trading in finance and digital currencies. So you will have the tech part. It will demonstrate how technology has become inseparable from the management areas. Similarly, in the human capital, you have courses like people analytics and minds and machines. So I think your CSE background, in fact, would be an advantage to you, because the courses what you will be studying in Tech MBA would be the management courses, and coupled with how technology is taking these management aspects forward. So that could be an advantage to you, your CSE background.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Manish, sir. Thank you, Krishna, sir. And thank you, Atan, sir. Sir, a similar question is there from Aishwarya. She is asking that how is SME's MBA program good for someone who is inclined towards HR and would like to specialize in it?
I'd probably try to answer. If you're looking for, you're very clear that you want to make an HR, I'd say that first choice you should make XLRI, Jamshedpur. Right? Because that's an institute known for, there are institutes branded, but that doesn't stop you. And that, of course, they've got limitation. Everybody cannot get into XLRI. So should that stop your ambition to get into HR? Then there are other colleges. Now coming to SME, it will depend on how many. And to be very honest, in the business school, you find very limited number, and particularly when you're a small school, you may not have too many students actually looking for HR specialization. And this is a story for most of the business school, they call it IITs or IIMs business school. You don't find too many takers. So people who are absolutely clear that I just want HR, and you have seen the HR field and you want to specialize, you probably look at those kind of option. But are we going to offer electives in HR? We will be. Is there an opportunity for building yourself based on the environment? And I think that's a whole focus of the discussion, and Dr. Krishna was trying to emphasize. And you are joining IIT Jodhpur, you're not joining SME alone. So can you take advantage of being a HR expert for tomorrow? Because you have been hearing, I think, many discussion. We're talking about HR analytics, right? It's a combination of technology and HR. So are you really looking for your forward path, future path? Then probably this would be a choice. I mean, I'll just stop it here, because choices, of course, to be made. Choices have to be made based on the opportunities that you have in your hand. And I'm candid. I'm saying you're so clear. And if you get an XLRI, please go and do it there, because then you're sure, because they have the brand name known for, they create the HR leaders from that institute. Not that others are not making, but you'll find that predominantly they're producing more HR experts.
Thank you, sir.
Just to add to some of the queries that we are receiving from different areas of specializations or the elective courses that you are interested in, we have a detailed list of courses that are available on the website. I'll request all of you to, if you have all these queries regarding what kind of courses that will be there in different areas like finance, and the question that has come up in the HR, you just see we have courses that are listed in the first year, which are compulsory courses, as well as the courses which are offered in the general MBA, as well as the tech MBA specialization. These two areas, categories where we are offering courses across different domains, right? So just to take few names of the courses which are available that we plan to offer in the HR domain is like history and business, strategic human capital, emotions and success, power and influence, organizational change and transformation, persuasive communication, power and influence, I have told, I think already, ethics in practice, and so on and so forth, negotiations, deal making, science of practice of behavior change, all these kinds of courses which are very new, which we propose to offer in the second year when you go for your different kinds of elective courses that you choose. Similarly, we have courses which are listed in Tech MBA as well as General MBA with tech flavor that you are going to take. So list is available on the website. Feel free to check in the details, right? That should help you to clear some of the thoughts that are there in your mind.
To add to that, sir, there are certain courses in Tech MBA. There are specializations like finance, human capital, economics, strategy, marketing, and cybersecurity. In human capital, Ashwarya, there are courses like people analytics and intelligence, ethical issues with AI, human in loop, minds and machines, digital behavioral dynamics. All those are there. So we are not focusing on particularly analytics. We are considering all the aspects of tech. So our curriculum is a perfect blend of technology and management. You can go through the website. All the important information are available there.
But I think see all subject to, and I'll just emphasize so that you don't have any misinformation or misinterpretation. They're subject to having a critical mass of the number. So if there are only 2 students interested in HR, you'll find it difficult. You may not be able to offer the courses. So don't later I want to hear that you said all these courses, but only few are offered. So be clear that if there are less than 5 interested, will have difficulty in offering the courses. So that's why I said that generally marketing, finance, systems, operations, they get these subscriptions. I mean, when the class, I mean, our cohort is going to be of 80, right? You know that we are talking about batch size of 80. So as we grow, then, you know, I expect that more such opportunities can be offered. So I don't want to have any, you know, lack of clarity on that. These are subject to having some minimum number of students interested to take the concentration.
So thank you for answering. So there's an interesting question here, sir, and we can make it this as the last question. So this question is from Sri Harish Peddi. He's asking, is SME planning for full online classes for 2021-23 batch?
Everybody is watching the situation, and hopefully the way the trend is as of today, probably there would be possibility of coming to physical classes from next year. But as all of you have seen, now it may not be, the future may not be only physical. You know, that's why now the new term has come, physical. So it's a physical and digital. So you can expect there will be elective courses which may be offered completely online by the you know, very well-known visiting faculty, because when it comes to elective, not that our core faculty would be able to manage all the courses to be offered. So we may have online courses. Even sometime, you know, we may have the lectures being delivered by some from international institutes, you know, those may be still online. So it's likely to be, because now we got so well tuned with this online class, you know, and online learning. So nothing stops us, and it will be much more easier to get somebody, you know, who is a industry speaker, which comes with a very contemporary, relevant knowledge for a subject. And as we are talking about futuristic courses, futuristic offering, it makes most sense actually to involve more of the practitioner. And I think Krishna also told right at the beginning that we are talking about, you know, one is the tech connect, second is also practice connect. So we are talking about engaging practitioners to teach the courses, relevant practitioners, not that all practitioners can also do good teaching. So we'll be very selective in doing that, and that will give an opportunity to have this mixed kind of classes. But one thing globally, I have attended so many webinars all over, but I've never heard anybody saying that we like to, or we are enjoying this, what we are doing now, and we'd like to, earliest opportunity, we'd like to go back to the physical classes. So physical is most liked, most preferred, but this situation has learned, I mean, given a lesson to us that you can manage, you know, definitely a combination, not that everything has to be physical.
So thank you, sir. Thank you for answering that. So I think there are no more questions. Can we wrap it up, sir?
Yeah, please. I think unless Dr. Krishna wants to have a last word.
No, I'm fine, sir. Thank you. I think I wish all the applicants all the best, and may the force guide you to the right decision if you're a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, if there are any more questions, feel free to please mail us or join our Telegram and ask there. So thank you, sir, for joining in and interacting with us and the future aspirants. And thank you, Professor Krishna, sir, for taking us on a virtual tour of the mesmerizing IITJ campus and sharing your thoughts on importance of techno managers in establishing a successful startup, or at least being a major role in establishing a startup, are truly thought-provoking. And thank you for your thought on the role of the technologies like AI and quantum computing, which are going to play a huge role in future, and how the ecosystem of IITJ is in line with those needs. So thank you all for your words, sir.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
And just one thing before we leave, I just want to say that all the participants, you please keep on checking our different kinds of social media pages of School of Management and Entrepreneurship. That will give you a fair idea of different kinds of activities that we do at school. We have a very vibrant club and cultures, different kinds of committees and clubs, which have a different vibrant culture in the student body, and a lot of events are being organized by them, right? Even if we are dealing with this digital mode of transactions and so on and so forth. So do visit different kinds of social media platforms of the school, and you will be able to see what different things that we are doing here. Good luck. Thank you very much for joining us today for this webinar. Stay tuned. We'll be coming up with more such webinars, and the information that will be given to you on different kinds of platforms that you are connected us with on the Telegram and other sources. Stay safe. Good night. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Krishna, and the entire team of Embrace.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Krishna, sir. Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, everyone. Good night.